Hey guys, Mary Tully here from Tully's Training. Today we are going to talk about teaching your dog the stay cue. The stay cue is super important. It's one of the basic behaviors that every single dog should know, and it's also a behavior that a lot of times people train incorrectly. So I'm going to teach you the proper way to do it today in 4 simple steps. So first off, I need to grab some food. I don't have any. You definitely want to have something to reward your dog with while you're training them anything new. We want to keep training fun for our dogs because when they're having fun, they learn better and they remember things and lots of great stuff happens. So I'm going to use green beans today because my dog is weird and he loves vegetables. So basically we are going to go ahead and jump right in. When you're teaching your dog stay, the important thing is to move nice and slowly. So I'm going to show you how to break down the behavior into 4 steps just to get you started. So the first step is going to be, we're going to introduce to Kai, my dog, what the signals are going to be for our behavior today. So the hand signal that I'm going to teach him is a stop sign, and I'm going to use the verbal cue stay paired with that. So step 1, you're going to get your dog over to you, get their attention. Good boy. Tell them how good they are because they're so good and training is so fun. You want to get them in a comfortable position. For Kai, that's going to be a sit. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to present the hand signal and the verbal cue. I'm going to count to 3. I'm not going to move at all. And if he holds that sit for 3 seconds, he's going to get a reward and then a release. Stay. 1, 2, 3. Good boy. Okay. Nice job. So if Kyle had been unable to stay for that 3 seconds to start, then I would have made it shorter. So sometimes with puppies, it might even look like this. Stay. Good. Okay. Just because puppies love to wiggle around, and basically the first step of this behavior is you have to figure out an increment of time where your dog can hold still. So number 1, we want to make sure they're nice and comfortable, and number 2, we want to make sure that that amount of time, that duration, is as short as it needs to be to set them up for success. Because if you can't get them to hold still to start with, then you don't really have anything to build up on. Another kind of quick tip, if you have a young dog or a really energetic dog, practicing stay after a walk or after a rigorous play session is a good idea when they're going to be more likely to kind of hang out and be more relaxed. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one more time just so you can see. Stay. 1, 2, 3. Reward. Good boy. Okay, release. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of movement. I'm going to add a little bit of distraction. So I'm not going to make it too hard on him. I'm still going to only keep it at 3 seconds, but I'm going to march in place. So I'm going to give him the signal. Stay. Good boy. March in place. 1, 2, 3. Give him his food reward. Tell him good boy. Then I'm going to say okay, and that's his release cue that he can get up. If he's a new dog that's learning this behavior, he doesn't know what okay means yet, but eventually he's going to learn that once you hear the word okay, then nothing else good is coming to you. That comes in handy when you're working on stays from a distance, or if you're working on a stay that lasts 30 minutes or longer. It's nice to be able to just have that quick verbal cue, and that lets them know that they can get up. So it's good to start that off in the beginning. So now that Kai's doing really well, he's able to kind of handle a little bit of movement. I'm going to make the movement a little bit more distracting. Good boy. He's being very patient. So I'm going to ask him to stay. And I'm going to still only do this for 3 seconds, but I'm just going to kind of pivot back a little bit. I'm not taking a full step, but I am moving in a little bit of a different way. Let me try that one more time. Stay. Still kind of moving in a different way, but I'm only doing it for 3 seconds, and I'm not going crazy. If I were to go crazy and move too far or too fast, I might get lucky and he might have a little bit of success with that maybe, but the likelihood of him actually understanding the behavior and me being able to turn it into a really solid stay down the road is very small. So you want to make sure to train this conservatively. So now that he's been able to do kind of a little bit of movement, he understands what the hand signal means and what the cue means, I'm going to go ahead and increase my duration. So I'm going to have him stay for a little bit longer. It's going to be 5 seconds. Stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. have done. Try it a few more times. If they don't pick it up and it just seems to be keep getting worse, take it back a little bit. So you're probably moving a little bit too fast. So usually kind of the rule of thumb that I give to my clients is when you're training a new behavior, they have to be able to do it 10 times correctly in order for you to move on to the next step. So if you're training this behavior brand new, you would want them to stay for 3 seconds without you moving 10 times in a row, and then you can go ahead and make it more challenging. If they're not successful 10 times in a row, then they're not ready to move on to step 2. All right, so step 2 is going to be, we're going to take 1 step back. Stay. Still keeping that nice, quick 3 seconds. Very, very nice. So if you notice, there were several steps before I even took 1 step back. And I really think that, if you want to break down any part of the stay, you want to break down those really early parts the most. Once they know that you can take a step back and they need to stay put, you can kind of move a little bit quicker. So I'm going to go ahead and try that again, except this time I'm going to have them stay for a longer period of time. Stay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good boy. All right, now let's say I've been practicing the stay just like this for a couple of days. He's been doing really, really well. Now you're able to add more distance. So this time I'm going to go ahead and take 3 steps back. Stay. 1, 2, 3. Very good. Notice how on my way back I'm calmly telling him that he's done a good job. Okay. And then he gets the food reward as soon as I get back to him. So that lets him know that he is succeeding, he's on the right track, and he might get something for that success. It's called a bridge. So now that Kai is doing really, really well, I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of an example of how far your stay can go if you really stick to it and you take a lot of time to train. Because he knows this behavior. Stay. You turn your back on your dog. Go to the fridge. Open the front door. Let friends in. Pick up the leash. Make noise. Stay. Walk behind him. Very nice. Very good. Here you go. Okay, you're done. So, step 1, teach them, start using the cue, your hand signal and your verbal cue. Have your dog stay for just a second or 2, and then give them a reward, give them their release cue. Step 2, start adding a little bit of movement in the form of marching in place, maybe pivoting a little bit. Step 3, take 1 step back. Step 4, start introducing more distractions and more distance and longer periods of time. So just remember that for a dog, changing the place that they're doing a behavior is a huge deal. Changing how long they do a behavior for. Even for some dogs, changing the type of flooring that they are placed on can really, really throw them for a loop. So you want to kind of try to think like a dog, break your behaviors down, and if you have a dog who's usually pretty solid with the behavior that they know, and all of a sudden they're not able to do it, remember, it's probably your fault. It's probably that they're not motivated or they just don't understand what you want. So be patient and have fun with your training. And I'll be back on Friday with Sarah from LA, and she is going to, she's our LA senior trainer. We're going to be working with her puppy Moose to teach him the cue, come when called. So thank you so much for joining us. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you soon.